All right, good comments there from head coach Demico Ryan and general manager Nick Caserio. We'll get to Ari and Aaron Wilson in a moment, but pleasure to be joined. If you follow the Texans, you know this guy, Travis Johnson, the #1 pick by the Texans in 2005. Hey, great to see you.
Great to see you too, Randy.
How about this atmosphere tonight?
It's so awesome, man. We got the greatest fans in all of football, and it's phenomenal to watch everybody out here on the hill. You know, it's kind of like the Little League World Series where you see everybody out here,
right.
and everybody's real energized, and I'm energized to be out here with them.
It signifies that the buzz is back in this city. Although it's been a difficult few years, I feel like with the hiring of Demico, I want to ask you about that. You played with Demico, you know what he's all about as a player, and now as a coach. What is he going to bring to this organization as a head coach?
Well, I think he brings energy. I think he brings a lot of know-how, a lot of knowledge. He's attention to detail. He's the guy who's going to have our team in the right position at all times. He's going to have guys that feed off the way he is. When I talk about Cap, he was our captain. The way he led us was by example. And I think he got everybody has to be on that same page. He's going to be a guy that leads. He knows what he did. He knows what he's done in the league, and everybody respects him.
I want to ask you, when he arrived in 2006, I've heard stories. I want you to confirm it if it's true. He immediately, as a rookie, earned the respect of a lot of guys in that locker room. How rare is that to see a rookie come in like that?
Oh, well, it was phenomenal. I mean, when you talk about all the guys in the house arrest, it was phenomenal because, you know, when Demico comes in, we had, at the time we signed Sam Coward. Sam Coward was given $1 million signing bonus. He was supposed to start a middle linebacker for us. But Demico Ryan in training camp just started putting people on the behind, and everybody started taking notice. All the vets, all the rookies, everybody's like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? And how did we get him in the second round?
Man, what a difference he made. He was a fun player to watch, and I know they're excited to watch him coach. And I want to ask you about tonight. We're going to find out in a little while what direction they're going. Bryce Young seems like the consensus #1 to Carolina. As a fan and a guy who follows this team, do you think they need to go defense at #2, or are you a believer in a C.J. Stroud?
I'm not a big fan of C.J. Stroud, to be honest. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. It's not that I'm not a fan of C.J. Stroud. I just believe if Bryce Young is not on the board, we take defense. And then we can potentially take a quarterback. If we stay at 12, I think we get Hendon Hooker. If we trade back into the top 10, depending on what the cost is, I think we can trade up for Richardson. I think it's a lot of ways we can do it. But if we get a quarterback and a defensive lineman / outside linebacker in those first 2 picks, I think the draft itself is a win. You know.
I want to ask you. You mentioned Stroud. What is it you're not as fired up about to take him that early? What is it about his game you're not high on?
I mean, to me, I'm not sold on Ohio State quarterbacks.
Okay.
You know, forgive me. You know what I mean? If the coaches are sold on them, then I'm sold on them. You know, and so but for me, it's looking back and saying, you know, where's the last Ohio State quarterback to be successful?
Right.
And everybody can say, oh, Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow wasn't Joe Burrow, so he went to LSU.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? So and I don't want to. There's no knock on the kid. You know, the thing is, I like him. I think he's a great athlete. He's a big body, strong arm.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm with you. I don't think any of these guys are franchise quarterbacks. They may be all good. Even Bryce, I'm not convinced he's a franchise guy.
I'm convinced
that he's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
Okay, good.
It's a guy who's been 5'10", 5'11" his entire life.
Okay.
He's played big ball when he was in Cali. He played big ball in the SEC.
Okay.
And so a guy like him reminds me of Demico Ryan. And you ask why I say this. Demico was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. And went in the second round because he ran a slow time at the combine, right? He didn't run as fast. He didn't look as great. But guess what? He's a football player. And I think people don't account for the fact of football players. And when you got a guy who went in the SEC, won the Heisman, and was a leader amongst all those guys who were first-round picks and everything, I think you got to respect it, and you got to take that with more than just a grain of salt.
All right, here live with Travis Johnson, 2005 first-round pick. One more question. So if they go defense #2, you're hearing Will Anderson, you're hearing Tyree Wilson. Are you comfortable with either one? Do you have a preference?
I'm comfortable with either one. I think with Tyree, of course, you got questions about the list break injuries in his feet. With Will Anderson, I think you can't go wrong with either one, really, especially if you're confident. If Dr. Lowe and those guys guys have told the Texans that those feet wouldn't be a problem, then I say go with him because it's hard to pass him on 6'6" and a freak of an athlete. But at the same time, Will Anderson, man, if you can last and be seen in the Nick Saban defense and play the way he's played, you can only be excited about what he's going to do in the NFL.
Very good. Great insight from Travis Johnson. Travis, thanks for the time, my man.
Thank you, brother.
Have a great time tonight.
You too. See you at HEB.
There you go. That's right. He's my neighbor. We run into each other quite a bit. Travis Johnson hanging out with us, the 2005 first-round pick for the Houston Texans, 16th overall.